This was your grandmother?
Yeah, the one that you saw the picture of.
The Eula? Or no,
Ella.
Ella. Ella. What was her middle name?
Here we had
I don't remember.
Northern?
Her last name was Northern. Her maiden name was Gokanar.
Gokanar?
But,
what was Eula? What was her middle name?
Yeah.
Eula Orissa. Orissa.
Orissa?
Orissa. Hancock.
What's her background? Was she like German or?
She had copied some stuff on the DVD.
And then it makes me think of other things.
You can,
about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
we got home late afternoon, and there was a message on the phone from Darlene Jensen from Hamlet. And she wanted me to call her. So I called my cousin Jerry. You ever been to the reunion? Okay, we don't have a name.
I wondered about that.
That's nice.
You remember. Do you remember Jerry?
Jerry lived on the street from you.
Yeah, Hancock.
Needed a shower. Yeah.
Anyhow, Jerry was the one that answered the phone. Wanted us to meet them at the Hamlet Cemetery. That my mother's cousin's daughter lives in Walla Walla, Washington, and she and her husband were here. And I really think it was the husband was more interested in the Hancock family than she was. Anyhow, they looked at all the tombstones out there at the cemetery, all the Hancock tombstones. And they could go back as far as my Grandpa Hancock, who would have been their grandfather. And that's as far back as they could go. And they were asking all about the Hancock family. Where did they come from and all this. And I said, well, I've got a lot of information at home. I can come to, then I called one of them over at Plymouth, where the girl and her husband were staying, and it was her brother's house. And I called and said, I've got a lot of information. I can come to your house and meet her and her husband tomorrow or the next day. Well, she was going to meet with a girlfriend that she'd gone to school with for lunch. I'll call you as soon as I get home. So I called Jerry and asked him if he'd like to go along. He said, sure. 5:30 that evening, I called Jerry. I said, let's just forget the whole thing. 7:30 that night, she called. She just got back.
Wow.
And I just told her I was having company the next day, and we were going to be busy, and I didn't have time. And anyhow, I got all that information. And then I got that back into the 1700s.
Can we get a copy of that?
You want a copy of it?
Yeah.
Okay, after the first of the year, we're going down to Elsie's. Elsie has a printer. Right now the computer died, but they've got the printer. It never did get on the internet. But she said, because when they were here a while back, I was showing it to her and telling her the story. He said, bring it down, because Jerry said he wants a copy of it too. And yeah.
Well, if you give it to me, I can make copies, and then I'm going to mail this back to you. I'll wrap it up really nice and send it back to you. I will.
How will you make copies? From your copier?
I've got, I've got printer, I've got a copy machine, I've got all sorts of...
Well,